this I'm fine. Try to make me go. Ay, ay, ay. Open up the people,
Welcome to the showcase, and yes, we're well ahead with episodes, over 270. I'd like to thank the viewers for watching because we can't do it without you, and I thank you very much for that. And I also thank all the artists that's participated. It's nice to know behind the scenes fun and frolics that artists get up to. It's something you don't see normally, so please support the act. Watch the video all the way through. Click like and share. My next guest, I'm honoured because I've been chasing this gentleman for some while. He's so busy, must be loaded.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to introduce Antoine. Hello, Antoine.
That's Sean. Thanks for inviting me on.
Yeah, it's great, Antoine. And I kind of met you, I'm not going to say a long time ago at Cave Castle in Hull, which is a great wedding and events venue. And I was a resident there, a resident DJ, and worked with a lot of acts and things like that. And I was, they had pianists, which they had yourself, and they also had, bless his cotton socks. I forgot now.
Was it Tim?
No,
not
what Tim?
Oh,
no,
I know him.
It sadly passed away. Yeah. Anyway, we'll cut through that one. There was another piano player anyway. I'm sure I remember him. You have these mental blocks now and again, Antoine. So tell us where you're from.
Well, I'm from Hull, Kingston upon Hull, or Hull, as it's not sometime now. Hull with a capital U, in East Yorkshire. Although I grew up really in Hornsey, so sort of, I was born at Hull, but grew up in Hornsey, just on the coast. Not far from Hull, so wow. I was there. Yeah.
do you know Helen Thompson?
I do know Helen very well, who's now Helen Garnett.
Correct.
Do you mean Helen?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I've known Helen long. Well, we went to school together, and then she runs the Hot Gospel Choir, and I play the keyboards in the Hot Gospel Choir.
I've been all over the world with her. In a duo.
Yeah. With Helen Garnett?
With Helen, yeah. I was, when she was 16, I was the first guy she teamed up with. Not boyfriend, just as an act. And I got a summer season in Swansea at Lidstep. And off we went and did a great summer season. From there, we went on to the ski slopes in France. We did a season in France. Then we went off to Cyprus. Yeah, we had a really good connection, myself and Ellen. Yeah, very good.
Oh,
and I knew her family very, very well. Yeah, so it's nice. Antoine, where's the name come from? Because it's not English, is it?
It's French, because my mum is French.
Wow.
So mum's French and my dad's from Hull, East Hull. So I'm a bit of a hybrid of French and East Hull, really.
And is your mum still in the UK?
Yes, she is. Yeah, she's still living in Hornsey, as is my dad. We're still there at the moment.
That's lovely.
I've got quite a bit of, a few family members over in France. Lost a few, unfortunately, but when we were younger, we used to go every year at summertime and spend the summer break in Toulouse initially. That's where my grandparents used to live.
Wow. What a coincidence. Let's tell the audience a bit about you, because you're super talented. I don't know where you get your talent from, but it's absolutely, I wish I was 10% behind you. I'd be awesome. I didn't know, Antoine, that you played the guitar also. You sneaky doll.
Yeah, well, so I started the piano when I was about six, I think. And we I don't know why, but we ended up getting a piano at home, and and I was kind of straight into messing about with it. So I think my parents sort of essential there, and to their credit, they got me some lessons, and so I sort of took lessons. And by the time I was 16, I'd done most of the grades. I sort of took these, the grades up to number 7. I never took 8, but I did up to 7 anyway, and sort of learnt, classically as you do in those days. But then I've, went on from there. I was much more into playing by ear and improvising, and then I kind of eventually got into jazz and studied that kind of thing. But I've been playing piano and guitar since probably around, I don't know, probably nearly 30 years, I would say, something like that. So I'm still more proficient on piano because I've played it longer, but I've sort of played guitar long enough now to play it, I guess, quite proficiently as well. So I use both when I'm gigging on my own. I use both instruments, switch between them.
That's lovely. I mean, likewise, I play the keyboard, not as good as you, may I say, but I'm also a guitarist, and I used to do the Scarborough Grand. The big room at Scarborough Grand.
Did you?
I used to be a keyboard guitar vocalist, and I really enjoyed that. But what made you got into guitar? Because, I mean, piano is just a beautiful instrument, and then you moved to guitar. Is it classical guitar that you play?
No, it's sort of just basically, acoustic mainly. My brother's an amazing guitar player, and that was his first instrument. So,
wow.
It kind of put me off a bit because he's like off the scale amazing, and he's like a lead guitarist as well. So Dave's he's superb. So I didn't bother with it probably, until I sort of met somebody, it was late 90s, and I used to kind of hang out in Pearson Park for a bit at one point. And she had she was a songwriter, and she played acoustic guitar and sang these beautiful songs, and it kind of it inspired me, and what I loved with the guitar is it's portable, because it's very difficult to sort of carry a piano around with you in your back pocket.
You're right.
Big and heavy,
So
guitars are it's handy because you can just carry it about. You can sit in a park, just play it. So I thought that's why I thought I've really got to start learning this as well. It was hard because obviously by that point I'd been playing piano for over 20 years. I was quite accomplished at it, so it was like being a beginner again, really, in some ways. So I knew sort of music in my mind, but it takes time to sort of learn a new instrument. You've got to figure that out as well. And the guitars are very different to a piano as well, as it's a different sort of, everything's different about it. You think differently, and you've got 6 strings to deal with, and there's multiple ways of playing the same note. On a piano, there's only one note that isn't that particular note. So it's quite, it was good. So when you play both, it gives you a broader understanding of music, I think, as well.
Well, when I met you, Antoine, you was kind of like firmly embedded in the market for my wires are stuck, for weddings and corporate events. I think it must have been 20 years ago, Antoine. Is that kind of like still part of your forte?
Well, it is. Although for some reason this year, I'm not quite sure why it is. It seems to have dropped off a lot, because for a long, like probably 15 years or so, I've been doing a lot of weddings. I've done hundreds of them, I would say now. Where it varies what they ask for, but in a lot of cases it's piano, just piano through the meal, or play through the ceremony, or even sort of doing some singing and so on, and through the drinks reception. It's a bit of a mix, really. But so probably this year I've been quite busy with that, and then for some reason this year it's just stopped. It's sort of completely stopped.
Really?
So I don't know if. Yeah, I don't quite. I think other people have said the same thing. So I don't know if I don't think it's weddings have stopped, but I think there's there seems to be a bit of a trend for, using saxophonists and I don't know, other types of entertainment rather than piano. But I can't quite explain why it is. But because the other bands have been busy, because the Amy Winehouse band has been really going well, and so I've been busy with that, and I do my own solo gigs as well in Beverley, say on a monthly basis. So I'm kind of busy enough with those other things that I'm thinking, well, I've only got so much time, and I work full time. So
do you work as well?
I work full time. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not my main living. I wish it was, but it's not. It's not sort of reliable enough, or
enough paid. Are you a peripatetic teacher?
Well, No,
Oh,
I actually work at a college in the sixth form college in Hull, as a software developer now.
wow.
That's kind of what my day job. I was the IT manager because IT is my other thing. So I've done IT
Crikey.
a long time. So I joined them 13 years ago as a IT manager and moved more into like software development. So that's kind of
Not
what
Hull
I do.
College, is it?
It's not Hull. It's shall I name it? Or is it safe to do?
Can do, yeah.
Yeah. It's Wake Sixth Form College.
Oh, I've done, because I'm a teacher as well, and I did supply teaching, so I've done most of the colleges.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
as a music teacher and as an English teacher. But then I settled at I seconded at school in Hedden, but it was a bad decision for me. Schools are terribly disciplined and everything. I wish I'd have stayed at the college. But anyway,
Yeah.
these things happen. But Antoine, you kind of like got a great website. I must tell the audience that while you're watching and listening to this, you can go on and look at Antoine's biography and his fantastic history of what he's done and what he's doing now. It's just www.antoine.co, full stop. And I'll put that on here. But I want you to have a look at his website because he's a very talented man. You've got your own music. You're a songwriter, Antoine. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've written a few. Yeah, not enough really. Not like my brothers, but I've got two brothers and they're both much more prolific songwriters and better
Wow.
songwriters than I would say I am really. But I think the potential's there to write some really good songs. But I've managed to release 3 so far. Funnily enough, I actually wrote those about 25 years ago when I started playing the guitar, and then never really got around to recording them until sort of the technology moved on, and it's we're at a point where you can record in your own home basically. So I've sort of produced all the 3 songs that are out there, and done all these all the music that you hear on there, drums, the whole lot really. But I'm not saying that.
I'm accrediting your artwork because it's awesome. You've put some effort into it. Not a lot of acts do that. I mean, when you open your website, the color, the brightness, everything hits you. I can tell you're into IT. It's really stunning, and your music's on there, and it's quite clearly you can buy it. You can go iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube Music, and Apple, and all the rest of it. So you've kind of like established yourself as an artist. Is it just as Antoine? Is that it?
Yeah, basically, yeah. I wish I could think of a suitable surname.
I
Elton
don't think
John.
you need one. Yeah, well, wouldn't we all like Elton John? I don't think you need one, Antoine, because, let's be honest, Antoine is easy to remember. It's a bit hard to say, but it's easy to remember. Antoine, French, people can say that. And it kind of like, what I like about your website is that you've got your weddings, your bookings, and your wedding pianist on there very clearly, and you've got Piano Man, which is on SoundCloud. Now I love SoundCloud, but not a lot of people know about it. If you're on Apple, I think it's free. Is it still free, Antoine?
What's that? SoundCloud?
Yeah, SoundCloud to join. Is it?
I think so. I think it's free, but you can there's a limit to how much you can put up there unless you pay for it. So
I understand. Right.
So I've got so much on there, and then I've kind of hit the limit really.
So probably the same as me then. So you've got SoundCloud, and then you've got your performance videos. What's the Antoine's Lockdown Live Lounge?
Yes. Well. Okay. So you'll remember the infamous lockdown in 2020, and of course, 1 minute there we were all busily getting on with our lives, and then it's suddenly like, oh, you're not allowed to get out of your house. So to sort of avoid going stir crazy, which was a possibility, I thought, right, well, people started doing a lot of lives, these live stream things. I thought, I think maybe I'll have to have a go at this. There's nothing else to really do, and I was working. I wasn't one of these people on the that scheme. So I was, I was working sort of during the day, but. So I thought what I'll do is I'll attempt to do a live stream, but set up, my PA and everything else, and try and get a good quality live stream and see how it goes. So I started off doing that, and a lot of people started watching. So I thought, well, maybe I'll make this a regular thing. So it became a thing that every Saturday, between it was about 8 o'clock on a Saturday evening. I did what we called the lockdown live lounge, and that it went on for 18 weeks. So I just kept going every single Saturday, and people sort of started tuning in, and they knew it was going to be on, and then I'd sort of think sort of prepare what songs I was going to do, and it was an interactive thing. So because it was on Facebook Live, so I got people to sort of tell me what they wanted me to play, and I posted I've got a song list of 250 songs. That's how many songs I know now. So I got them to just pick the songs, and it was really lovely. I think it helped people through, and it helped me through as well. And I got better. I kind of improved my performance as well, because I was looking back at it, watching it, going, yeah, well, that wasn't so good, was it? And
And not only that, you'll have built up a good reputation from it, because while people are all sat home miserable, you're doing something about it. And the lockdown lounge, what you created there is awesome. And for people that are planning the weddings and marriages, it's the same thing, and events. You're going to be forefront of their mind, because you probably have a huge fan base now.
Well, I suppose you never really know, do you? You kind of sit in your home thinking, oh, nobody knows about me. But
Wow.
yeah, I think a lot of people did watch it. It was, and definitely had people say they found it helpful. They looked forward to it, because you couldn't go out, and it was, so it was the nearest thing to sort of a social life that you could sort of have. And then the good thing for me was when I'd finished, when we were allowed to kind of get back out again, and it was tentative, we could do it in a garden, but not in a house type thing. And I was quite practiced, because I'd been sort of performing. If I just left it and not touched anything for sort of however many months it was, I would have been, I'd have been very rusty anyway. So it was actually helpful in that sense. And like you say, it's probably good from the point of view of promotion as well. People were seeing, and it's all on there. I'm on my Facebook page. They're all on there still, so you can actually go and watch them all.
I mean, that situation with the COVID, was an utter disaster for the world, and the repercussions from that are still happening, Antoine. A lot of venues closed down, a lot of artists give up, and now I'm hearing factual evidence that the actual COVID injections is still causing people illnesses.
I've heard that, yeah.
It's utter disgust. It's almost like a culling. The government knew about it. There's no hiding it, and it was utterly disgusting. I had COVID. Sorry, I didn't have COVID. I had 2 COVID injections, and ironically, I was on holiday in France, and I still got COVID in France. It was horrific, and I think those injections have damaged my life, because, since those, I know we're changing the theme just a bit, but I must get it out here, Anton. I got a tumour up my nose. I've got heart palpitations. I never had all that before COVID, So, I've talked to musicians on here. One in particular who used to be with a band called Badness. Badness?
Yeah, I do know that.
Yeah. Well, the sax, Jamie Moore. Do you know Jamie Moore? Well, his wife died of COVID, and he wouldn't have the COVID injection. It was only after the COVID injection that she died. So that's on here as well. So moving on, I had a fantastic earlier when I first started these podcasts. I had Louise.
Oh.
And I love Louise. What a lovely, lovely girl Louise is.
She came on here, did she?
She did, yeah. She's got her show, and she's got the Winehouse band on it as well. So the pictures are, if you look on there. So Louise came on, and she talked her head off. She was fantastic and really enjoyed it. And, honestly, what a great singer. So to be in a band with Louise, she's got the style, she's got the looks. Oh, she is absolutely lovely girl. And, I saw her in my daughter's pub, and then I went to see her in another pub, and I just, wow, she's got something special. you know. So tell us about how you got involved with that, Antoine.
Oh, Amy's Winehouse band.
Yeah.
So, well, it was actually, I'm in a band still called
Yeah.
Beautiful Couch.
All right.
And I don't know if you knew that, but I've been done that for about 10 years.
Well, I didn't know you was in that. I know Beautiful Couch. I didn't know you was in that. Okay,
I am.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I've done, for 10 years now, but I joined, it was Tim Nuttall was previous to me, and then I took over from him. You know, he was sort of ready, he just wanted to move on and do other things. So yeah, I've done that. And then our drummer, Pete Bartley, you might have come across Pete. He's in about, well, probably the busiest drummer in Hull, I would say. He's in about 10 bands, you know. He's always basically a super busy guy, but really brilliant drummer and like top man. So he I think it was last year, he kind of said to me, so, you know, I'm thinking about starting an Amy Winehouse tribute, because that was the point the film was about to come out. And he said, look, I think she's quite current. You know, people are suddenly kind of catching on to her. And so I was like, bit busy. I've got like so much on, you know, for the weddings and all the other things I was doing. I didn't really have time, but because it was Pete, you know, he said, look, don't worry, don't commit to anything. So just come along to the rehearsal and see how you get on, you know, see what you think. So I went along to the first rehearsal that they had, and as soon as I walked in, it sounded amazing. You know, they've got two guys called Matt and Andy. You might have come across them. They're in a band called The Shine as well. And Matt's, I mean, they're both great musicians. You know, Matt's brothers, and Matt is a guitar player, superb guitar player, and singer as well. He's a great singer. And Andy's his brother, plays bass. And I just walked in and they were just jamming away, and I thought, that sounds great, you know. So we had this first rehearsal, and initially the girl who was Amy wasn't Louise. It was Marnie Black. She's kind of known in her own right. She goes out as a solo.
I know
Marnie. Yeah, she's quite well known, really. She does an Amy tribute on her own, and she also does like Pink, I think. So she was our Amy Winehouse. So we rehearsed. We used to rehearse in Rayner's pub on Hetzel Road. So there we were rehearsing in there, because they kindly let us use the room for free, which was really nice of them. So we sort of got, you know, our first set of songs together, and after that rehearsal, I thought, I suppose I'll have to join this band then, won't I? You know, because it did sound great. And I started to get into Amy Winehouse music and realise how good Amy Winehouse was. I mean, amazing. Because I only knew like 2 or 3 of the songs, but as I listened to more, I really got into it. So yeah, we rehearsed there, and then we got to the point where we thought, right, okay, we're ready for the first gig, I think, and we decided to do it at Rayner's for them for free, to say thanks for for letting us use the room. So that was our first one. And second gig we did was at Tribfest in the Big Top to 2,000 people, because obviously, I'm in the Beautiful Couch, and Eddie, I was the front man, he runs Tribfest, so it was a bit of a shortcut to one of the bands dropped out, so Eddie said, look, why do you guys want the slot in the Big Top? So we played to a full tent, and it holds about 2,000, something like that. So it was a great gig, but it was only our second one. So, you know, you can imagine we were.
Is that with Marnie, or was it with Louise?
That was with Marnie. But after that, Marnie decided it wasn't for her. You know, she, for whatever reason, decided to sort of leave the band. So I thought, okay, fair enough. And Pete said, well, I actually know this other girl, you know, who's amazing, you know, and he showed us a few clips of her sort of doing a solo stuff. But Louise had never played in a band before. She'd obviously been at it for years as a solo performer, brilliant solo performer.
Oh,
but
yeah.
not played in a band, you see, so it was new to her. So she came along to a rehearsal, and as soon as she came, we all liked her, and she was, you know, you can't not be amazed by her vocal. Thought, yeah, this is going to work. You know, Louise loved it as well. You know, it's different playing in the band, and I think she really enjoys it. You know, so more than just going out on her own. Because you're playing with other musicians, and so it's less lonely. It's a bit of a lonely life on your own. And that's how that started. And Louise is just the perfect fit. It just gets on, everyone gets on, and it's lovely. But you need a fantastic singer to be an Amy Winehouse band.
Oh, you do, yeah.
Basically, because she's the folk, more than, say, you know, another type of band where the band is the band, whatever. But in Amy Winehouse's case, it's got to be top notch, really.
And how do you get your bookings, Antoine, with the Winehouse tribute?
Pete's kind of our manager, so Pete's as well as the drummer. We sort of, he formed it, so everyone's happy for him to kind of be the manager. So generally, he's if we've been playing somewhere, with the big couch or whatever, with then Pete's got then chatting to the organisers of. Or the people who own the venue, saying, look, would you, how do we go about? Would you like to book an Amy Winehouse band? And so it was, quite tricky to start with, but as each gig has been has gone down so well, that word's getting around. We've got a Facebook page, and I've just set up a website now called Amy's Winehouse Band.co.uk.
Oh,
so you should find that, and so the gigs are on there now, and you can start, booking tickets through the website or through Facebook as well. They're on there.
That's awesome. Antoine, I just want to put your video on here now. Okay, so I hope people enjoyed that, and that's just a little insight into Antoine and what he does with his Amy Winehouse band, and his. Tell us about the beautiful couch. Obviously that's the Beautiful South, is it?
Yeah, Beautiful Couch is, they've been going a long time, 20 odd years.
Wow.
I think it started in 2003, I think, something like that. They're a tribute, well-known tribute, especially in Hull, but like quite, across quite a big area really, to the Beautiful South and the House Martins. So it's a combination of both. So you get value for money, because obviously the House Martins stuff is quite different from Beautiful South. And so you get a real mix. It makes it for a very good evening. Nearly always sell out gigs. Last night we were in Halifax, a place called Moorlands, I think. Lovely venue there, to about 350 people, something like that. But we will be playing in Hull at the Social. The used to be called Fruit. People know it as Fruit, and it became Hull Social. But we kind of play all over, Liverpool and Newcastle and Howden, Shire Hall and Howden, places like that. So it does, kind of do get around a bit with the Beautiful Couch. I've been about 10 years on keyboards.
Who's the singer, Antoine?
Singer, it's Eddie Faulkner, who is, again, is well known because he established Tribfest, and that was really the first tribute festival after, I think, Glastonbury Budget. But I think Tribfest was really, hence the name, it was the first tribute festival probably in the country, I think. And then others have, it's become a thing now, isn't it? Tribute festivals. But Tribfest, started off in Ticton, and now it's at Sledmere House.
Is it really?
Yeah, lovely. Well, not in the house, but in the estate, in the grounds. It's maybe about 5,000 people probably go to that. Lovely family festival. It's very popular. You get a huge array of, 4 nights worth of lots of top class tributes. Everything from, you name it, from ABBA to U2 to Pink Floyd. There was a Coldplay, the last one in August. Coldplay finished it off. It was a Coldplay tribute from Italy. Absolutely, you could have sworn it was the real thing. It's so good. So the quality is great. And you get there's various other tents as well, acoustic tent and the comedy tent and that kind of thing. So it's a place where you get up and coming sort of local talent as well get opportunity to play there. I was running, we played there, I was in 4 different, so the Beautiful Couch, we were on the main stage on one day, and then the next day Amy's Winehouse band was the other way around, sorry. Amy's Winehouse band was on the main stage this time, and Beautiful Couch was in the big top. And then they have a breakfast club in the mornings between sort of 9 and 12, and Eddie had asked me to run that. Getting up at 7:30 in the morning after probably 4 hours sleep, in a tent, and then getting up and running the breakfast club for 3 hours. So that was nice because we got, I had a lineup of different local talent, and we had some really performed. So it's good if you get a chance to go to Trinfest.
You've certainly got your fingers in pies, Antoine. I'm just looking on your website now, and you've got Antoine's DJ mixes. My God, are you a DJ as well?
Yeah. Well, I don't do so much of it these days. I did, about 25 years ago. It was sort of when, I guess, club music was kind of at the heights. When it was all vinyl at that point, and I got really into it. And I'd been a mobile DJ before that. I don't know if you knew that, but going back to when I was about 18, I did about 10 years of being a mobile DJ. We go to weddings and you play all those kind of things.
Yeah.
You've been there, done that. I know.
Been there, done that.
But back in now you just turn it to the laptop. You don't have to carry boxes of records, but I did. It was like 7-inch singles.
Do you know, Antoine? I was in it when the money was great, and I worked for Duncan Wood at Yorkshire Entertainment.
I know him.
He flogged me out for some great money and some fantastic venues, and I worked for some great superstars. I did a racing car driver where he flew in by helicopter. Landed on the lawn, and I had to kind of like play music to like 007 while he was getting out the helicopter. And as he was getting out the helicopter, he was getting changed into his wedding gear, and it was fantastic. It really was. So I've done some awesome things myself. I've done Simon Cowell's brother's wedding in Cockermouth, and it was just fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's the Lake District, isn't it?
That's right on the edge of the river as well. Right on the edge. If you'd have come out for a pee drunk, you'd have fallen in the river. But the hill going down to get to the tent was a challenge, because you had to get it was very slippery. So when my van was full and gear was full, I had to get a tractor to tow me out. It was good. We can talk about these things. And one thing I want to ask you about is you've got Helen's All for One Choir and Hot Gospel links on your site.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you good friends with Helen?
Very good friends. Yeah, I would say we went to school, and we did play together, apparently. I'd even forgotten we'd done it, but we did do, I think, a couple of gigs together.
Wow.
One being in the Rygarth Inn, if you remember. This is near Hornsey. There was this pub called the Rygarth Inn, just in Hatfield. And I think we did a bit of the gig there, if I remember right. It's all a bit of hazy memory. Yeah, it was 20 years ago. The Hot Gospel Choir Helen called me one day and she said, "Look, I'm thinking of starting this gospel choir, and your name pops into my head for some reason." So she wondered if I would be interested in playing. I ended up doing that, and it was for about 8 years. We sort of went and performed with the Hot Gospel Choir. We got a band together and something. It's great. We used to play all over. And
her daughters, just
amazing
talent beyond talent. I'm so lucky. Before I went on Britain's Got Talent and everything, I travelled the world with Ellen, and I was so gobsmacked at her voice. She just hit them notes.
Yeah.
She hits them notes and your hairs come on the back of your head, And I was always used to being a solo keyboard player, and when I used to sing, she used to harmonise with me. I used to get lost, I used to think, what? I used to laugh to myself because it was so good, Do you understand what I mean, Antoine?
Yeah, absolutely.
When you hear something, you think you're trying to sing in, but you want to laugh because you think, I can't believe it. It's so good. It was bloody fantastic.
And daughters, when they sing together, they do harmonise so beautifully. So that's Hot Gospel Choir. It reformed last year after 20 years, and Helen got back in touch again. You see, because after 8 years, it sort of disbanded for a while. And I never imagined I'd end up back in it. And what happened was, last year Helen got in touch, said, "Look, I'm I want to do a celebration, of 20 years of hot gospel, because it reformed, and so they were going to do this concert in Hornsea at this United Reformed Church, and that's where where we used to rehearse in the first place when it started out 20 years ago. So that was last year. We did this concert there. It was great, but up to now, she'd sort of been using backing tracks because she didn't have the band. But anyway, so long story short, I'm now sort of the MD,
Wow.
if you like, playing the keyboards, and
Wow.
we've got a great bass player and a guitarist.
God.
So yeah, it sounds cracking with the full band and so on.
I mean, even a family, her husband and her children and the family, they're just such beautiful people, I'm so proud to know her. She's just fantastic, so you're so lucky to work with her.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I like just pinch myself sometimes. I think,
Oh,
how come I'm here? Why was it me and not somebody else? So you find yourself in these situations sometimes.
it was unbelievable. I mean, when we was in Lidstep, she was a very young girl, 17 or something, and it was her very first, gig away from home, and a family came along and everything, and I got to know them really well, and we were very good friends, and the place was just, in utter silence when she sang. It was just beautiful.
Yeah, it's just
And
real power there, isn't there?
I just felt so proud that she'd joined me, an unknown nobody. I just couldn't believe it. So
Well, you must have been good. Yeah.
we had some great gigs. I mean, the one in France was fantastic. And then the one in Cyprus was in a 5-star hotel. It was just, Antoine, when you go to these big gigs, you would do it for free because it's just so good.
Yeah, it's a real privilege, isn't it?
It is a privilege, and these are why I do these shows, because people don't know that the ins and outs of acts. I bet half the people don't know the things that you're doing. Half the people don't know the antics that you get up to and the troubles sometimes that you have to put up with, Antoine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you the story of me and Ellen. We was in Cyprus when the Gulf War started.
Right.
And everybody had been there was no holidaymakers on the island. They'd all gone. So we was playing to nobody, and they said, "I'm sorry, you have to go. There's a C-12 transport leaving at 10 to 12. You're on it." A military aircraft. All aircraft had been stopped because Cyprus is a fast redeployment island for troops.
Right.
And, it was just surrounded with warships and everything. It was unbelievable. We got on this military aircraft and he said, "Look to the right." And you could see the explosions going off in Baghdad at midnight. You couldn't make these things up, Antoine. You couldn't make them up. And when we was in France on the ski slopes, Ellen and her husband was off skiing every day. I couldn't ski at the time, and a ski pass, all free and everything. Them days it was £100 a day. So we was at the Hotel Mont Volon where superstars came. Nick Walsh from Crime Watch, and we met loads of big famous people. Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, you must have met loads of famous people yourself, Antoine.
I mean, you'd think so, wouldn't you? But you know what? I haven't really. I know. I keep thinking, when's that going to happen? Not really. Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to like to play at somebody's, some famous person's party. I'd love that. But yeah, I haven't really. Yeah, maybe.
Well, I'm trying to lead up to some of these big stars. I mean, I had Sean Wardon from Simply Red the other day. Oh yeah, he's fantastic. What a guy!
Wow.
And I've got Cliff Richard's drummer coming on. Yeah, and I'm going to try and get Cliff. So I've got a few fingers in the pie. I've got some fantastic big agents coming on soon. Yeah, so
that's really good.
It's building up, and I think the more famous people that you have, the bigger people want to watch it. And not only that, Antoine, I'm not doing it for money. I'm not monetized yet. I'm doing it because I'm in Thailand. I'm on my own. I've got friends out here, and I get the opportunity to speak to people like you, and it's just fantastic. It makes me feel great. And if I can show your talents to people, and you get one booking from it, that's fine with me.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I really appreciate you asking me on. It's been a great experience to come on here and to find out about you as well. You know, you've got a heck of history.
Yeah,
Done
nobody
an awful
knows
lot of
that
stuff.
either. You know, they see you in Hull just playing as a git vocalist, you know.
Yeah.
When I was in, the last thing I was doing in Hull was I was a guitar vocalist. I was doing an hour of Eagles and an hour of Smokey. And I was on good money. You know, I want a look-alike. I was a sound-alike, you know. So I did great Eagles and great Smokey. And people loved it. But I just found it wasn't for me anymore, Antoine. You know, I just thought the live stuff isn't for me. The weather wasn't for me. I live in Thailand now. Got my own studio. I'm making music with Terry Bell. So
oh, wonderful!
Yeah, I got some great musicians, and I think things are just plodding away nicely. So, Antoine, it's been absolutely fantastic talking to you. Give my love to Louise and Helen when you see them, and also.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you about you said that the drummer in Amy Winehouse's, what's his name?
Peter Bartley.
Yeah.
Pete Bartley,
Yeah. And does he play in Beautiful Couch as well with you?
Well, he did for about 10 years. He's only recently left the Beautiful Couch now.
Right,
so
okay.
he's not with them now. But up to recently he was. I think because he's in so many, like, he probably just thought, well, I can't keep everything going, So
fantastic.
Yes, and certainly was until recently.
So we're coming to the end. I'd like to just mention to the viewers, to the bookers that are watching this, because I've got a lot of agents watching now. I'd like to give you Antoine's number. It's 07971. I'm going to put it on here as well. 86, and his website is antoine.co. So http www.antoine.co. And Antoine runs the Amy Winehouse band, The Beautiful Couch. He's also an amazing piano player, guitarist. So if you want a guitarist for your wedding, a piano for your wedding or function or anything like that, honestly, recommendations are second to none. He's the best. So, Antoine, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you for your time.
And you, Sean. Is it all right if I just mention the place I do on
Yes,
my
please
own
do.
usually about once a month? It's become quite a regular thing. Well, first of all, on my website, there's on the gigs page.
Yeah,
that's where I put all my solo gigs. So if
I can see it.
So if anybody wants to come and sort of see me, when I do my solo thing, which is usually I usually do about 3 hours or longer, and it's a real mix of different types of songs and things. It's all live, with the piano and the guitar, so I sort of switch between the two.
Wow.
So I've been doing this place called the Garnish Cocktail Bar in Beverley, Wednesday Market.
Wow.
And it's a lovely venue. He opened last year. A chap called Adam and Shelley opened it last June roughly. And I sort of, somebody told me about it, and he said, oh, he's looking for people, So every Sunday afternoons he has somebody different on, and music's like at the core of it, really. So it's not a huge place, but it's got a beautiful, lovely atmosphere, so I've been doing that since then, really, and it's usually once a month. And I was there at New Year last year, and I'm going to be there again this year.
Wow.
But it's each time it's sort of it's just been packed out in the end.
So what night are you on? What is it? Is it usually the same night?
So it's a Sunday afternoon, so it's always
perfect.
So like 3:00, basically 3:00 on a Sunday afternoon. But I'm only there once a month roughly. So my next one's on the 23rd of November,
right.
Which it probably isn't there on the site. Actually, I'll put that on shortly. So that's So if you're ever around the Beverley area on that particular day, then just drop in. So it's always good atmosphere though. Yeah.
And is it just a coffee or is it a food bar?
So they do cocktails, lovely cocktails, like top notch stuff, and obviously drinks, and he has started doing food now. Yeah, so you can get there is a small selection of different types of quality food in there as well. But it's a really good, lovely atmosphere, When on a nice day, you have the Wednesday market seating outside as well. Yeah, so I think you'd enjoy it.
Nice day. Nice day.
Well, we've had a few actually. Yeah.
Up.
It's not been too bad lately. It's been all right.
So the Garnish Bar in Wednesday Market, Sunday afternoon, once a month. Look out for Antoine, and I'm sure I'm not sure, 100% guaranteed a fantastic. Can people request songs, Antoine?
They can, yeah. That's what I put. I go around the tables and I put my list of songs, which you can download off the website. Actually, it says repertoire on the repertoire page. At the bottom there, it shows you all the songs I do. It's about 250 of them, and you can download that as well, and you can sort of see what they are. But you'll see what kind of range there is. There's a bit of everything in there.
Wow, that's awesome. That
25 years of learning songs.
Wow. Yeah, that's good. It's a good repertoire to have. One question, Antoine. Parlez-vous français?
Oh, un peu.
Un peu.
Je sais.
You must ask Ellen about my French girlfriend when I was in France. You'll laugh your head off. She'll tell you. I had to get her to translate between us. All I know was "Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?"
Well, yeah, we all know that line. Yes.
Oh dear, that was fun. That was it. You'll have to ask her tell her. She'll laugh her head off. Yeah. So Antoine, it's been absolutely fantastic. I will put all your details on your website and everything like that, and let's hope everything goes to plan, and let's hope the venues pick up a bit. Maybe we're just going through a lull. I mean, we are in a bit of a credit crisis. The world is in trouble, and to put a sad end on the twist on the end. A lot of people are losing their jobs, and everything's going up. It's not easy.
No,
so
it's not.
some people, the first thing they cut out on is going out boozing and drinking. So sadly, let's keep the business live. Let's keep people like Antoine in business. Please go see him. Please go support him. And look at his website. It's really fantastic. And good luck to you, Antoine. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks so much. See you soon.